Yo, welcome to the Loft. Savage Psychotherapist here. Today is a new episode of the Trauma Preparation Skills Training Series. So far, we've covered some epidemiological data about how common trauma is, the most common types of traumatic events based on worldwide surveys, 3 skills in 2 different in-depth episodes. The first episode covered some of that epidemiological data. It also covered post-traumatic growth orientation. In the second episode, we covered developing a mindset of acceptance, a mindset of aligning oneself with reality and accepting the fact that things can go wrong, traumatic events can happen to you and to people that you love. Sometimes you can do everything right and still have a bad outcome, and then living through that. So that's acceptance. And we also talked about Premeditatio, malorum, to premeditate of all evils, and not landing in a place of anxiousness or futility, but rather using the premeditation of evil to think about what skills you might need to develop, what knowledge you might need to acquire, what materials you might need, and what capacities you might need to develop within yourself to withstand. Today, I'm going to talk about 2 other skills because they're closely related. The first one is situational awareness, paying attention to your surroundings. Oftentimes, people kind of have their heads down. They're paying attention to their phone. Pat McNamara describes it as a 45-degree syndrome. 45-degree meaning, we're always looking down instead of up at the world and seeing kind of what's around us. How situational awareness fits into trauma preparation is it's really difficult to be traumatized by something if that thing doesn't happen to you because you've seen it coming or you had more time to react. Situational awareness can buy us time to react. It can help prevent things from happening. Think about this scenario. You got your head down, walking in a dark parking lot, late at night, all by yourself, and some would-be predator wanting to do harm spots you, and you're not paying any attention to your surroundings, and they're able to get closer and closer and closer. And the closer they get, the level of confidence that they have is going to increase. Take the same scenario, and instead of your head being buried in the phone, looking down, or you don't have headphones in, you're scanning around and you see that person from 150 feet away. That's going to stop them in their tracks, and it's going to make them hesitate. They might decide that the energy cost is not worth it because there's more distance to close. They might assume you're going to have time to scream and yell or run away, and they're just not willing to expend that level of energy. They're looking for some easy target. A funny example that I'll use is I was walking my dog on this sidewalk, and it's pretty good visibility in all directions. You can see for hundreds of feet, behind you and in front of you. There's some tree line to the side. One morning I was walking my dog, and I passed the same person twice. Older lady, probably about 55 or 60 years old. She had some kind of an iPad or a tablet, and she also had big over-the-ear headphones. And she was doing this, walking down the sidewalk. I passed this woman twice, hundreds of feet of visibility in all directions. Both times I passed the woman with my dog, I was within about 10 feet of her before she recognized that I was there. I got a startled response from her both times. Both times, out in the public domain, voluntarily making themselves blind and deaf. That's not very good situational awareness. So get into the mode of practicing good situational awareness, paying attention to your surroundings. One way you might be able to practice this is by just doing little mental narrations while you're out, pointing out inside your mind things that you see. Point out, what kind of cars you're seeing, what kind of people are coming and going, where exits and entryways to buildings are, and just kind of quietly observe and pay attention. So the second skill is Cooper's color code and aligning oneself to a status yellow. Situational awareness is a very big aspect of Cooper's color code. So Cooper's color code talks about these 5 different levels of alertness and reactivity. Physiology is aligned with that. So our body's adrenaline response, our body's heart rate, our body's vital signs. White is tuned out, unaware, not attending. It's kind of like zombie mode. We're not paying attention to anything. We're very, very relaxed. We're in straight zombie mode. Yellow is when we're quietly and calmly observant of our environment. We're maintaining good situational awareness. We're a little bit like a loaded spring because we're ready to do something if we need to. We don't have to go from 0 to 100 because we're already somewhere along that continuum. We're just kind of ready to go. You know what you might do if X, Y, or Z kind of happens. You're not like suspiciously paranoid. Nobody would know you're doing this. You're very calm and relaxed. When you get up to status orange, you've identified something that might be potentially threatening or hostile. You see somebody acting kind of suspicious. Maybe somebody's acting hostile or aggressive. They're raising their voice or acting erratically. You see smoke, so you assume there's a fire, and your elevation increases a little bit higher, and you're starting to get ready to handle a potential threat or evade a potential threat. You're really at that point in time going through what kind of actions you might take. And the higher we climb along Cooper's color code, the higher your heart rate's getting, your adrenaline, your body's elevating. Once you're at status red, you're taking action. Like something has happened and you're actually acting. You're engaging something, you're fighting something off, you are fleeing from something, you are taking some kind of action. When you get up to status black, your heart rate is like 180 beats per minute or higher without any kind of physical activity. It's just psychologically induced. When you get up to level black, you're in panic mode. You're in freeze mode. You lose the ability to think. You lose the ability to make decisions. If you don't have training that you've practiced repeatedly under high stress situations and you have no baked in repetitious skill set that's like underneath there, if you get up to status black and you don't have that, you will not react effectively. And so one of the theories behind Cooper's color code is that the more time you're out of doors, out in the public landscape, the more time that you spend in a conditioned white state, the more likely it is when the shit hits the fan that you're going to go straight to black because you don't practice any kind of loaded posture, good situational awareness, readiness to act, planning for situations, quiet, calm observation. You're more likely to go straight to black, straight to panic mode if you live your life in white. And for people who are like, well, why shouldn't I just be comfortable enough in this world to live in white? By now, I'm sure you realize that the would-be predators and offenders and the would-be traumatic events, and some of them might not even be people. Could be natural disasters, earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, volcano eruptions. Nature is also traumatic, so animals, they don't care about your beautiful nature hike that you're on. They could care less. And the would-be predators also could care less about your peace and your right to enjoy a carefree life. They don't care. That's it for today. Situational awareness, Cooper's color code, aligning oneself with status yellow, Savage psychotherapist. Out. There's Rex. Good boy.